Welcome on in, brothers and sisters of the chapter. This is Sprues and Studs, and we are going to be finally reviewing the third action figure from the Black Templars lineup that included the Emperor's Champion as well as the Marshal. Which one are we going to review? Well, it's going to be the last Sword Brethren in this video. So I'm going to say straight off the bat, I am not exactly too sure what I think about this action figure, because I think that the Marshal as well as the Emperor's Champion were really high and top-notch on my list. And reviewing this one, I have a fear that we are going to be coming down from the high that we had from those two action figures. But I hope this review will change my viewpoint on this action figure, so let's just get to it, shall we? Time to finish off the Black Templar squad. As I fail again to open up this thing with an X-Acto blade. Oh, the big reveal. Done. All right, welcome on in. The Space Marine has been unboxed and all the accessories are laid out in front of us. And speaking of accessories, let's just dive on in and review these accessories. Let's just take a look at this power sword here. Once again, this is your Sword Brethren power sword, which is more ornate than your regular average Space Marine power sword. As I will comment again, all these power swords start off with a dark gunmetal color at the bottom of it and gradually lightens up to a nice lighter silver at the tip of it. There is a prominent power node that is here that is also highlighted a nice translucent blue. And unfortunately, this power node is just a regular power node. It does not have a skull in it. Let's see if the other side has a power node. Nope. This is a unique one in that there is only one power node. But let's just take a look at the rest of the sword here. We get the characteristic Black Templars logo with the hilt area. One thing I'll have to point out that is nice is that there is a little bit of extra detail that JoyToy put in here. They put this area as silver, and the rest of it is this bronzish looking color. So there is a nice contrast there. Then it transitions to this interesting, almost metallic looking red handle, which we typically don't see. And then finally is more of this iconography. The plasma pistol has a lot of character to it, as I have described in past videos. You have this lighter silver color instead of the dark gunmetal color. And the casing is a nice red that provides a nice contrast. And you've already heard this before, and I'm going to say it again, people. This plasma coil stuff, I absolutely love. I love because it gives it more depth of character, more detail, more plasma ooey-gooey-ness. So once again, silver undercoat, blue translucent overcoat, much like how this power sword is over here. Let's look at this backpack. And once again, we are kind of limited to a regular Space Marine MK10 backpack. You have your vents that are nicely weathered here with a light dry brushing of silver. And you also get this characteristic white airbrush look that is throughout the whole entire Black Templars line. The only thing I really want to point out is this holy iconography up here. There's a Black Templars logo up top, and then I would assume, again, this is some sort of like lantern type of thing. And the lantern is a nice bronze color that you typically find throughout the Black Templars line. And the nice thing is that it is also highlighted with this silver. We will move on to the chains of devotion. And once again, there is a chain for the power sword. And one thing that I'll have to say that's different for the power sword is that this loop is more of a chain rather than this like iron clasp thing. So the iron clasp thing is going to go around the wrist area, and this loop is going to go around the power sword itself. And this one we've seen in the Marshal action figure, where this goes around the wrist and this one goes around the butt of the plasma pistol. And all of these are of a very flexible plastic material, so you can fit this thing onto the various areas. And the last accessory we will look at is the cape here. And the cape is very beautiful and very flowing looking, as usual from JoyToy. They really do their red capes very well. And as I've said before, the shading and highlighting is impeccable with this cape. And you get a little bit more detail up here with these silver shield areas, which allows for a little bit of contrast compared to all this red for the cape down here. And one thing you'll notice, there is some battle damage and wearing and tears on the cape, which you would normally see on a Space Marine. If you flip this around, you get to see more of this battle damage. You also see a little bit of overspray here and up here as well. This part will be covered by the back of the Space Marine, so it's not a big deal. But you get to see a lot of this inlaying of detail on the inside of the cape and very worn looking color that some people may or may not be fans of. That's the accessories. Let's look at the Space Marine himself and see what's up with it. I've noticed straight off the bat that this tabard area is supposed to be tucked in, so we'll fix that a little bit. Let's look at the helmet of the Space Marine. Once again, not too far of a departure from Mark X. So there's the characteristic Black Templars icon in front, and you get to see a fairly decent painted lens area that is red, and there's a very, very light white airbrush going on with the action figure itself up here. The pauldrons on both sides are red with the Black Templars symbol and the skull that sits in the center of it, and I expect it to be the same over here. And once again, yes, it is the same look. And the chest area, you get to see a very prominent tabard, and there are a bunch of purity seals that are flowing down here, which is completely different from what we've seen from the Emperor's Champion as well as the Marshal. So I like this contrast that is put in with this action figure. The purity seals are very ornate. You get to see this Black Templars logo, a bunch of swords, a bunch of, I suppose, scriptures and incantations written down here. So it's nice to see a little bit of difference. Then we're going to flip this area up, take a look at the accessories and the belt area. This belt is a very soft plastic that is probably of the same material as the cape as well as the chains of devotion. Get to see this nice prominent belt buckle that stands out. And let's just flip around and see what's going on. And this is a very unique looking holster that I don't know that we've actually seen in any kind of JoyToy Space Marine action figure except this one. And then there is a prominent holstered pistol here with an extra pouch accessory attached to the holster itself. So this is also a very unique addition that we typically don't see. And looking at this lower half of this tabard or loincloth or whatever the heck you want to call it, I like this transition from this lighter beige color to this dark tan color. And this is a very cool addition too that I like. Battle wear, get the rips in the cloth as well as some random small bullet holes, I'm going to assume. Then flipping this area up, so this is a unique symbol that we have not seen quite yet. So folks, there's nothing left to do except outfit this Black Templar. So let's first fix this tabard and tuck this underneath the belt where it's supposed to go. And it's a very easy fix, as you saw there. Next thing that we're going to do is to put the chains of devotion around the wrist area. Very simple. Next in line is wielding the plasma pistol as the wrist pops off. See if this guy is able to wield it properly. And yes, the Space Marine is able to wield his plasma pistol properly. So I'm glad, once again, that JoyToy fixed it with this line of products. Reattach this, and then finally attach the chain of devotion to the butt of this plasma pistol. Nicely done. Second thing, more chains of devotion on this wrist. I'm gonna sneak it in right here. Next thing to do is to wrap the very large chain around the power sword, and as you can see, it was very easy to do compared to the Marshal's loop. Final thing is to have the Space Marine grasp his power sword as the chain of devotion falls completely off. So there you go. Second to last thing to do, attach the cape. Cape is very easily attached and it is secured by the backpack that we shall do in a second. Cape on, then backpack on. Sword Brethren, armed for battle. And now the Sword Brethren has been reviewed. Time to conclude this video. So, brothers and sisters of the chapter, what did you think of this action figure based on my review? Did you think that you would actually go out and buy this thing by itself? Or do you think you might actually pass on it? Well, my firm opinion is that, again, this is a solid action figure. I really like how it looks. The Sword Brethren just looks so regal. They're like futuristic knights, which is exactly what they are. And I just love the iconography that's behind it. I love how They've got these unique chains of devotion, and I also love how the power sword looks on this action figure as well. It's very unique and unlike the rest of the other things that we have reviewed, such as the Emperor's Champion as well as the Marshal himself. So the $50, $60 question, or however the heck this action figure costs, is it really worth getting? Well, I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure if it really is. One of the reasons why I got this action figure was just to complete the set of it. But if I was cash strapped and I really wanted something to stand out, have my real money's worth, obviously I'm going to be definitely going for the Emperor's Champion as well as the Marshal, as I think that those are your most iconic Black Templars action figures. So once again, this is Sprues and Studs. Thank you so much for watching. I can't really say this enough, and I say this every single time at the end of the video. You all have been awesome, supportive, and informative, and I've learned so much from all of your comments, so please leave more comments in the comments section. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.